Welcome back to the channel. This is team selection for Game Week 3, but first we'll have a look at my Game Week 2 team and how it got on. So as you can see, overall rank 2.7 million. I think it was a green arrow from 3.1 million. 75 points. So the goalkeeper, Henderson, 1 point. Never really expecting much from the goalkeeper position. I think it's a bit of a dead position for the most part. So I'm just happy that I'm only spending 4.5 million on it, to be honest. Then the defenders, Trent, Porro, Robinson, all returning. Really happy with Trent. 8 points in Game Week 1, 6 points in Game Week 2. He could have had an attacking return or two by now, to be honest, but I can't be too annoyed with 8 points and 6 points. Similar with Porro. He got 6 points this week, but all of the other Spurs defenders seem to be getting involved in the goals this week. But again, can't be too annoyed with 8 points or 9 points in Game Week 1 and 6 points in Game Week 2. Robinson, not ideal that he didn't get the clean sheet, but he is so attacking that there's always an attacking return up for grabs for him. Wasn't really kind of the way that I was expecting him to get it. I'm used to kind of him bombing down or underlapping or something and putting a ball across, whereas this one was just kind of pass into Iwobi, who then did the rest, but we'll take them however they come. He did put a ball into Muniz at one point, who missed the header, but an assist nevertheless. Saka, he's just so good. Every single time he gets the ball, he looks like he's going to do something incredibly dangerous. So I can't see him leaving my team very soon, to be honest. I know he plays City soon, but I might just keep him all the way through it, to be honest. He's so good. Bruno Fernandes, another frustrating week with him. His stats were okay this week, not as good as the first week, but yeah, his XGI numbers are like second best in the league or something. I'm gonna give him 1 or 2 more weeks. It's Liverpool next week, or this week coming, and then Southampton, so I'll probably give him those two, but slightly frustrating he's not getting any returns. Same with Eze. He's had the most shots in the league. He hit the post or crossbar, one of the two this week, and obviously scored the free kick goal last week. He could have had so many more points than he has, but it is what it is. Again, I'll definitely keep him. He's not going anywhere. And Nkunku obviously didn't start. Came on in the 83rd minute, I think it was. So not great, but we'll talk about him in a second when we get onto my Game Week 3 team. Isak was disappointing. Newcastle in general were disappointing, to be honest. Bournemouth were by far the better team in that game. But he's got a couple of good fixtures coming up, so I'm not too worried about having him. I think he'll be fine. João Pedro, brilliant. He played 90 odd minutes, which again I wasn't expecting. I think that his expected minutes have been, I got that very wrong at the start of the season. I was expecting 60, 70, 75 minutes, but he's played 80 something and then over 90 this week. Even actually played some minutes up front when Welbeck went off, so he has been a great pick and I'm really happy I've got him. Although the fixture isn't great next week, but we'll get on to that. Haaland captain, 34 points, obviously hat-trick. I was considering the triple captain, but not that seriously, to be honest. So well done to anyone who did it, but I'm not too annoyed that I didn't. Anyway, let's get on to my team for Game Week 3. Okay, not much to say about the goalkeepers. I've obviously got Henderson in goal. The fixture this week isn't ideal, but the fixture isn't going to be ideal every week. And like I mentioned before, I never really expect many points from this position. But that also means that I'm not going to use a transfer to get rid of him. I don't think the only time I would use a transfer on the goalkeeper spot is if I think there is a standout 4.5 million goalkeeper that I'm missing out on. At the moment, I don't think there is. Obviously, Flecken has got a few more points, but I don't think the Brentford defence is particularly better than the Palace one. Again, Sanchez maybe at Chelsea, but there is still a little bit of uncertainty on minutes there. I think he probably is the first choice goalkeeper, But again, I'm not too sure that the Chelsea defence is really better than the Palace defence anyway. So I'm just happy that I don't need to use a transfer on that position at this point, and yeah, I won't be for now. Okay, moving on to the defenders, I've got Trent against Man United. I think I can just play Trent in any fixture, to be honest. He is racking up some nice attacking numbers. And the Man United attack hasn't looked like free-flowing, to be honest. So there is a chance of a clean sheet, but more so there's a chance of an attacking return, really. Konza, this is now the start of his 4 fantastic fixtures. He plays Leicester, Wolves, Everton and Ipswich. I don't think that's the order, but he plays them 4 anyway. So I'm looking at playing him probably for the next 4 weeks. That's the reason I've had him on the bench for game weeks 1 and 2. Now he's in, really happy with him. Robinson, Ipswich away. Again, I talked about the defensive rotation for all 5 of my defenders back in pre-season, and game weeks 2 and game weeks 3 were the weeks where I played Robinson. So yeah, happy with him for this week. Ipswich away is a good fixture. Dunk's on the bench, obviously. Arsenal away, he won't be playing. I didn't ever need him for this game. The game weeks I do need him are game weeks 4 and game weeks 5, so he's on the bench for now. Pedro Porro is currently my first sub. When we get on to the mids and attackers, I'll talk about whether I'm going to play Porro or not, because I am tempted to put him in the 11, so we'll go over that in a second. Onto the midfield now, and we have Saka with Brighton at home. He is actually potentially a captain option this week. I've currently got a vice captain on him, but he is very, very close to being as good as Haaland for the captaincy, so we'll see where I land on that, but for now he's vice captain. Bruno Fernandes, obviously Liverpool at home, mentioned that not so long ago. I don't hate the fixture that much, to be honest. I don't think the Liverpool defence is like an elite defence like Arsenal is, but obviously Bruno's been very disappointing at the moment. I do want to keep him for now because of that Southampton fixture in game week 4. So yeah, I'll be playing him this week. What you will notice is that Nkunku is gone. Morgan Rogers is now in the team. I sold Nkunku on Sunday evening before his price drop. So I now have Rogers. That is why I have 1.5 million in the bank, as you can see at the top of the screen. I think that Rogers at 5 million is just too good to pass up on with these next 4 fixtures. There is a chance that his expected minutes do take a little bit of a hit, given that Aston Villa play a Champions League game between game weeks 4 and 5. But I'm kind of willing to take that risk at the moment. Even if he's played 2 lots of 90 minutes, so even if it's just that he comes off a bit earlier, I'm kind of fine with that. So yeah, got him in the team. Eze, I'm fine with holding Eze. I know that some people are considering selling him, but for me, he's going nowhere. He's had the most shots in the league, so I'm absolutely fine with keeping him. He hit the crossbar or the post this week, and he obviously scored the free kick goal the other week that got disallowed, so the returns are going to come. I'm fine with keeping him. And then Bergvall, last on the bench, obviously, he'll be there most weeks. Okay, now on to the forwards. I've got, obviously, Haaland. I've currently got the captain's armband on him, but as I just mentioned, it is actually very close between him and Saka. Not sure where I'll land on that yet, like I say, but for now the captain's armband is on Haaland. I've got Isak with Tottenham at home. The last couple of times that Newcastle have played Tottenham, they've scored quite a few goals. So I'm hoping that we get a repeat of that, especially if I bench Porro as well. But I'm happy with Isak. I know a few people are selling him as well. I understand it if you're selling him to Watkins, because as I keep talking about, Aston Villa's fixtures are just fantastic. But I'm fine with keeping Isak for now. And I've also got João Pedro currently. Obviously, he's got Arsenal away, which is a pretty bad fixture. So I'm currently weighing up whether I bench João Pedro and play Porro or vice versa. I think that one will probably come down to the deadline. I'm not really sure where I'm going to land on that yet. For now, I've got Porro on the bench, but it could quite easily be the other way around. But yeah, that's my team for game week 3. Very, very unlikely I'll make any other transfers. I do have one free transfer now still because I rolled last week and I've used one on Nkunku to Rodgers this week. Like I say, very unlikely that I use another free transfer. Also very unlikely that I use the wild card like some people are. I did do a video on a wildcard draft, so if I was wildcarding this week, that team is what I'd have gone with, but I have no plans of using it this week. My plans are to currently hold out until at least game week 6. That will probably be the earliest I'll use the wildcard unless we get some major injuries, suspensions, or some other big problems. But for now, that's the team for this week. If you like the video, then make sure you do like, make sure you subscribe, it really helps, and I'll see you in the next one.